Hello and greetings tonight. So, I have a short but funny story time. Something that happened in my life a long time ago, and I was still in my 20s at this time. I think I was like around 27. Now, this guy who I was involved with, the same guy that I said who used to always fuck with me about my self-esteem, talk about how I wear my clothes, talk about why I wear the same shoes every day, and talk about how I wear my hair. And I said the story time about him, about how my feelings was hurt during the whole relationship because he was always fucking with me. And I said that one day I decided to fuck with him, and I told him that I was pregnant by him, but he's never going to be allowed to see the baby. Then I hung up in his face. Then after that happened, his mom calls. His mom calls like probably around 12 a.m. at night. At the time, everybody had a house phone. And if somebody did have their own cell phone, I couldn't afford one at the time. But anyway, yeah. His mom called the house phone. My mom answered. And she's like, Jarrell is over here crying because your daughter told him that she was pregnant by him and he can never see the baby. Now, like I said, my mom got on his side at the time. She told me I was wrong. And she told me, why would I tell him something's very false when I was not even pregnant? And I said, at first you never liked this boy. You always used to criticize him and say that he's ugly and stuff, and now you're taking up for him, is what I told my mom at the time. And she's like, I still don't like him, but right is right and wrong is wrong, and you was wrong about how you hurt that boy's feelings. Okay. Let me bypass all that to say that he had a best friend, this guy who was like 50 years old. 50 years old. And the best friend liked me. So, shortly after me and Jarrell broke up, the friend told me, oh, I'm going to take you to get something to eat if you spend some time with me and ride with me. Take a ride with me. I'm like, cool. So, he promised to take me to get a meal. But it was something that he did. It was something that he did that I didn't like it. I didn't like what he did. It was something that he said. So, he pulls up in my house in his truck. And he's looking mad. So I'm all jolly and happy because I was about to get some food. And back in those days, my family was always poor and we was always eating on pinto beans and rice. So I was happy that I was getting some food. And he was going to take me to Popeyes and get me something to eat. Which he did. And then I jump in the truck and I say, hey, and I give him a hug. And then he's venting to me, talking about somebody on his job, pissed him off, and saying stuff like, these motherfuckers got me messed up. And, you know, I didn't say anything. I was in my own jolly mood. I was happy that I was about to get some food, because I wanted the taste of those pinto beans out of my system. I just wanted that taste. That was a bad taste. I wanted that taste out of my mouth. So, we pull up to Popeyes. He asked me what I want. I told him, I said a 2-piece meal. Now, mind you, me and this dude was not going together. I was just really spending time with him to make Jarrell mad, jealous, or whatever. Because me and Jarrell was broken up. And this was his best friend. His best friend was thinking in his head that if he took me to get something to eat, that I was going to let him smash. I don't know where you get that from. At 27, I was not thinking about laying up with some 50-year-old dude. And then me and him used to always talk on the phone. The first thing he used to say to me, have you ever thought about making love? Have you ever thought about making love? I would love to make love to you. I said to myself, first off, he would have to put a bag over his head in order for me to agree to make love with him, because he was ugly and he had some teeth missing. But anyway, yeah, so let me finish the story. So we're at Popeyes. He asked me what I want. I told him a 2-piece biscuit. And he says, do you want French fries? Do you want mashed potatoes? I said mashed potatoes. And so we waiting until they fix my order. And we're at the drive-thru window. And then they fixed my order and they gave it to him. Then he gave it to me. And then when he gave the food to me, this motherfucker says, now can I say what I want to say? I said, it depends on what you have to say and what is it? What is it you want to say? He said, now when are you going to go on a damn diet? I'm like, I know this motherfucker didn't. I was never going to smash him. But he thought in his mind that if he bought me that meal, that was going to happen. And if it was any chance of him getting some, he wasn't going to get some after he said that. He wasn't getting none regardless. He wasn't getting none regardless from me. He wasn't getting shit. The only thing that he could have done for me is gave me some fellatio down there. I was not going to lay up with him. But anyway, and I told him that before too, when me and him used to talk on the phone. But yeah, he gonna tell me that I needed to go on a damn diet. Now, mind you, around this time, okay, I was 27. I weighed maybe like around 145 to 150. I was not fat, so I don't understand why he said that to me. But it offended me. Because even though I was not fat back then, I was always insecure about my weight. And I was always, sometimes I would starve myself. And I would go walk around the track, try to keep myself in shape all the time. But I just did not appreciate him saying that to me, because I'm like, what the fuck? I said, after he said that to me, do I think I need to go on a damn diet? I said, first off, I said, what's your problem? Why would you say something so rude like that to me? He said to me, oh, I said what I said, and you just picked the wrong day to be hanging with me. I said, first of all, you asked me to ride with you, and you told me you was gonna buy me something to eat, and now you go say something like that. So then me and him drove. Well, he drove. I took a ride with him, a little ride with him, and we went to this park. And then he started to say to me, "Oh, I was thinking maybe when we leave this park, you could go back to my house with me, and we could have some drinks." And I just immediately started to play sick. I was like, "Oh, my stomach hurt. I don't know. I think that Popeye's chicken was too greasy. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Take me home." He was like, "Well, at my house, I have some Pepto-Bismol." I said, "I don't care." I said, "Take me home now." So he was mad. He was mad. He was mad because he really thought, just because he bought me a meal at that time, that meal costed $5.99 at Popeyes, a 2-piece with a biscuit and some mashed potatoes. Like, I just think about that all the time, and I just chuckle because I'm like, he really thought that I was going to give him some just because he bought me something to eat. And then I still wanted Jarrell. I still wanted my ex back. Even though I was trying to be with him to make Jarrell jealous, I never really wanted this old ass man. I forgot what his name was at the time. But I know that he was best friends with Jarrell, and because him and Jarrell worked at the same construction place. But like, I was never gonna lay up with him for a meal, and if he thought that, he thought wrong. And I always told myself, if I ever made him think that I was gonna do that with him, and if I ever was to get in the car with him, I was going to act like I was on my period or whatever, because I was never gonna do anything with him. And he held a grudge against me for a very long time. He would call me after that situation. He would call me. I would decline his calls. He would call himself popping up at my house. I would come outside and I would tell him, "I don't feel well. I'll talk to you later." I don't know why he thought just because he bought me one meal that meant that me and him was gonna get together. He thought wrong. And like I said, I never did like nobody making comments to me about my weight back then, back in the day when I was in my 20s, because I was already insecure about myself and had low self-esteem. So, like I said, if there was any chance that he thought that he was gonna get some, he fucked that up. He fucked that up for himself. And he wasn't gonna get none anyway. But definitely not get none because you said what you said. You bought the meal, but you gonna tell me to get on a damn diet. How about you go to the dentist and get your teeth fixed? And maybe you'll look like something, and maybe I would have. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I was never gonna smash it. No, that dude was ugly. And I was really hanging with him and giving him the time of day because he was telling me all the girlfriends that my ex was being with since me and my ex had broke up. I was trying to find out information about my ex through him. I never wanted him. He always wanted me. But like, he really thought, this old ass man really thought at the time that I was gonna let him fuck just because he bought me a meal. No. 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 And anytime he would bring that up to me, and every time me and him would be having these late night phone conversations, I would tell him, when you gonna give me some head? And he would get upset. He was like, first off, if I do that to you, I want to make love to you. I don't just want to do that to you. I just feel like you want to use me. Well, you fucking right. You fucking right. Like, this dude really thought I was going to let him fuck after him saying that to me. Like, you don't never talk about a woman's weight. You don't never throw that up in a woman's face, whatever. But I hope this story time was very entertaining to you viewers, because it's a very true story. And I never forgot it. Took a ride with this dude. Bought me something to eat. Then I rode with him to the park. And then he started saying something like he wanted to take me to his house. Thought we were going to smash. And I played like I was sick. And had him to take me home. But I don't give a fuck. I don't. But I'm about to end this video and finish my sweet tea. And until I post my next video, until then, y'all stay blessed.